Scar and the Hyena Ed Gel Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you this Scar nail art tutorial that is absolutely just incredible. I am so in love with it. This is the one that in my Q&A video I said was my favorite design ever that I was wearing right now. And so it's got Scar on one nail and it has Ed the Hyena on the thumbnail, which I think is just hilarious. There's kind of a backstory with Ed around here, so I will share that in the video if I get a chance. I hope you guys like this as much as I do. I did use a whole bunch of Madam Glam colors, and I'll put links to those, or the color names and discount code and all that fun stuff in the description box below, so check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
So to begin with, I'm going to start the Scar nail with 2 coats of the color Call of the Wild, which is just such a gorgeous, wonderful gray. It's just a very perfect, it's like the perfect gray. It's not too dark. It's a great background color for all sorts of stuff. So 2 coats of that, and then a layer of gel top coat. Then I'm going to go ahead and with black paint, I'm going to start outlining my Scar. So I've just got, and I've kind of got his little heart-shaped face, his hairline there, kind of tuck in for his cheek fur. Bring it in on the sides, just like so. And these outlines are very basic at this particular juncture. I'm not doing any detailed facial features or anything of that nature, just kind of getting the basic shapes on there. And if you wanted to not do outlining and wanted to go straight to colors, that's definitely another way of doing it. And I go back and forth about which way I prefer to do it, so it's up to you, personal preference. I'm going to fill in his cheeks and chin with the color Proud Nude, and then after I've got that area filled in, I'm going to cure it. Let's just get that just kind of tucked up around his nose, so his bridge of his nose and the area going down onto his face a little bit, or on down farther into that Proud Nude. After the nude color is cured, Proud Nude, then you're going to go through with a burnt orange, and you can either use gel polish, or I'm just using acrylic paint for this. And you're going to fill in the rest of his face. So just add around that area, bring it down for the bridge of his nose all the way down. His actual nose is just black, but the whole area leading up to his nose is that burnt orange color, and it kind of depends on where you see Scar. Sometimes he's more of a brown, and sometimes he's like a definite orange, so you can kind of do what you'd like there. Then I'm going to fill in the rest of his mane with black, and I would probably recommend, I did this with acrylic paint, but I would, if I were to do this again, I would do that with black gel polish instead, just because it has a slightly smoother finish on it, especially at the tip of the nail. It can help prevent any of the design from chipping, which can sometimes happen with you when you just use that much acrylic paint on there. So just go ahead and fill in the rest of Scar's face, or his hair. Go around, and then after you have that done, you're going to want to take that black paint and start adding the details to his face. So go through and add details down the line of his nose, and his nose, add his little black nose there. And when you're looking at the pictures of Scar, he's got so many different facial expressions that you could go with. I went for a look of just disgust, but you could definitely go for like full-on evil or amusement. There's so many options here. So I've got his nose, and then add the split lip line going down, and then add the little scowl look of his lips. And after you have that done, I'm just going to kind of touch up outlines where I need to around his face. And after I got farther into this, I decided that that Proud Nude area that I had of his cheeks and his chin wasn't quite the right shape. And if you have any situation like that, keep in mind you can always go back and forth with your colors and do layers. So if something doesn't look right to you, just fix it. That's, I think, something that's very comforting, at least in my mind, is to know that if something doesn't look quite right, there's no harm in going through and fixing stuff. I'm going to be adding his eyebrows and just kind of outline. So his eye area is a little bit sunken looking, and to do that, eventually you'll see me filling in that eye area with brown. But first, just go ahead and outline it so you have the zone figured out. Use a little bit of a feathering motion to fluff his cheeks some. Then, like I said, fill in that eye area with brown. Don't go as dark where you can't tell the difference between the black and the brown, but you definitely want it to be darker than your face fur color, so darker than that orange color. So you just have to find whatever color you think is right, and you can mix colors, and this whole design could be done with gel polish if you wanted, but otherwise it's really easy to mix either gels or acrylic paint. And then I'm going to go through with yellow, and I'm going to be adding little slits for his eyes. So that's for the whites of his eyes. So instead of using white, I used yellow. And the actual color of his eyes is a really bright green. So you don't see much of a difference between the green and the yellow. But if you want to go as detailed as I did, go ahead and use both. And then, like I said, I went through and I used more of the Proud Nude color just to touch up his cheeks a little bit. After you do anything like that, though, you want to make sure that you cure it so it doesn't smudge or smear or get hit by anything. So once you have any of those gel things touched up, just go and make sure you hit them with your lamp. So I'm going to use a very bright green color called Pistachio to add his irises, and then going back to black paint, I'm going to be adding his whiskers and his pupils. Pupils are just a teeny tiny dot, so don't overdo them too much with bigger spots. And then with the color Special Pink, I'm going to be adding his scar. So you can't forget that. That's kind of a crucial element to the scar character, is his actual scar. So then I'm going to cover my scar with some matte gel top coat, cure it, make sure you cap the free edge of the nail as well. And then after that, I'm going to be doing Ed the Hyena. So I'm going to start with 2 coats of Proud Nude on my thumbnail. And after I have those 2 coats done, I'm going to cure them. And I don't know why I held my thumb so at such a weird angle for this part of the video. So I apologize that it's kind of a little bit of an awkward angle. After you have that done, apply a layer of gel top coat and cure it. After that, same process as with scar, I'm going to start my black outlines for Mr. Ed. So the funny story with Ed is Melody has a purple ball. It's a pretty small little purple ball, and she named it Ed a long time ago. So she has this little ball, and whenever she has it, she just holds it up high in the air and she goes, Ed, Ed, Ed. And she'll continue that until somebody either takes the ball away or she drops it or what have you. And since then, she has turned anything that she's really fond of into Ed. So if she has a stuffed animal she really likes, she might call that Ed. Whatever it is. And so it's just kind of a running joke that everything in our house is Ed now. And I don't even know where she got Ed from, but she really likes Ed. So yeah, so that's our kind of running joke with the name Ed in our household. Yeah, and then there's a little bit more to it. My sister has a new guy friend in her life, and she wouldn't tell us his name for a really long time because apparently she thinks that we're going to be mean or something. And so we just started calling him Ed too. And so yeah, Ed has been a big part of our lives the past few months. So after you have all the outlines done of Ed, I'm going to be filling him in, so like his forehead and his head with the Call of the Wild color, that gray, and then down his neck, the back of his neck with that same color. So the background colors I chose for each of these nails, since I used the background color of Ed on the scar nail and I used the cheek color of scar on the Ed nail, so that way they kind of tie together really well. Then I'm going to fill in his chest with a light caramely brown, and then fill in his cheek and chin area with a slightly darker gray. And then I'm going to be filling in the inside of his ears with that slightly darker gray. So with Ed, you do need several shades of gray. So if you have those on hand, fantastic. Otherwise, just like I said before with some of the scar stuff, easy enough to mix. Just have a couple, if you have even just one shade of gray and black, and just have a couple progressions of darkening it up, and that should work. So then with charcoal gray, so a really dark gray, I'm going to fill in the tops of his ears. I'm also going to use that to add his eye area. So he's got, same thing, just like scar, he's got kind of a shadow around his eyes. I also used that darker gray for his nose. But then add that little shadow of color around his eyes. Any evil character like that, a lot of times you will see that they have a darker zone around their eyes that makes them look a little bit sunken in, and it seems to add to the mysteriousness of the mean guys. So there's the one little eyeshadow, and here's going to be the other. And you don't want to go straight on black with this. You, like I said, want to use kind of a charcoal gray. The straight up black is just going to make them look like they disappear, where if you use a slightly less than black color, it'll make the whole design a lot more detailed and deep looking. Add a couple little wild hairs coming off the top of Ed's head. And with the hyenas, if you guys are wondering at all, because this is something I ended up Googling a while back, only one of them has a name. There's the 3 kind of classic hyenas that are in the original Lion King that hang around with Scar the most and that have speaking characters, and only one of them has a name. It's Hyena 1, Hyena 2, and Ed. So I chose Ed for multiple reasons, but one, just the fact that he's the only one that has a name. I filled in his tongue with that special pink color, which is just a gorgeous classic pink. All these colors are incredibly pigmented, so that's really nice to have in mind too. And I added yellow in his eyes, and then use black for the pupils. He's got really circular eyes. too. So that's, and then here's the special pink on the tongue. And after you have anything done that you did with gel polish, make sure that you hit it with the lamp, even if it's just for 10 seconds to set it. That's going to make a pretty big difference. I touched up a couple things with the Call of the Wild color again, just to make sure that everything looked good there. And then I'm going to be capping Mr. Ed with a layer of matte gel top coat. I really like this combination of glossy background with matte characters. I use that a lot with my 3D art, and I don't so much with art that's on my nails directly, and so I decided to do that with this set, and I absolutely love it. So now for the flames, which actually might be my favorite element of this design. I love these flame nails. I'm going to start with a gradient of gray to purple. So the gray is going to once again be Call of the Wild. The purple color is Twilight Lilac, which is kind of a medium purple that isn't very bright. It's kind of a, I don't know, a dreary color, I suppose you could say. It's kind of a gray purple. So after I did the first coat, then I blended the two colors together with a sponge. I'm going to apply a second coat. This time both colors are wet, and then I'm going to run a sponge across the middle to blend them together once again. And after that's cured, I'm going to be applying a layer of matte top coat. And then after that is cured, I'm going to be painting the outlines of my flames with black paint. Just go ahead and do your outlines. And that gradient in the background makes the flames look so deep, and they really stand off the nail, and they just look, it's just such an incredible little effect that goes on there, and I absolutely love it. Then after I have that done, I'm going to fill in my flames with the color Pistachio. So that's the same bright green that I used for Scar's irises, which this Pistachio color is a color that I've had for a little while from Madam Glam, and it was out of stock for quite a while, and it is back in stock, at least it was recently. So if anybody missed out on Pistachio before, it is now back, and I know that that is something that a lot of people are waiting on. Then after the flames are cured, I'm going to be applying some glossy gels top coat over them and curing them, and with a couple layers of gel on top of them, it gives them a slightly 3D effect, so there's a little bit of texture there, which again I absolutely love. I hope you guys like this design as much as I do, and if you guys are going to the Lion King, tag me in your nail art. I know pretty soon on Instagram I'm going to have a whole post of everything that I have going on for the Lion King movie when I go to see it, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!